This is my first time doing it like this. But should I get a chair? I think honestly, I might get a chair because I don't want to stand. I'm hurt. Fuck it. Fuck it. Never mind. We don't. I want a chair, but we'll just lean back. No, I'm getting a chair. I'm sorry. I can't. My back. I'll let you go. Ah. Yes, as you can see, I have slimmed down a lot, but it's okay because my body hurts. But what was I gonna say? I feel like we are in a time where we are the most disconnected from life, right? But connected at the same time. Like we used to be connected spiritually, right? You know, coincidences and stuff like that. But now we're intersected by technologically, technologically off the phone, off the camera. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I always want to suggest get off the phone, get off social media, go outside, always like that, right? I always will preach that about you. I will always preach that to myself and others. But you don't gotta be so in tune to yourself. You don't gotta do chalk, or you don't gotta dress any type of way or do this, that, and the third. You just should be aware that sometimes when you're so involved in like life, when it comes to your phone, it gets depressing. You start to really overthink things like, damn, this life kind of better than mine. You start to compare. Even if you say you don't, you compare it instinctually, subconsciously, you compare yourself. And I seen that like once we got on the court, I seen the jokes, I seen the comparison, I seen what some stuff was touchy about people, always like that. I see how people will pick and pride the things that you do. You be like, look, they point. But it's all jokes though. That's what boys do. It's all jokes. But it's super fun to really play, and hoop with them because you get to really see where their heads are at. You know, like I love all them dudes. Even the ones I just met today, I love them all because it's really appreciative. Because those times once you get older, once you starting a family or you go on to your own way, you're not gonna really see as much as you do now. Since because like everybody that I know right now are juniors, seniors, or freshmen in college, or they're just working. That's the foreground. That's really everything. That's all of it. There's juniors all the way to freshmen in college. I know a couple of sophomores in college, but that's the middle. That's the ground. Juniors, seniors, working, like just graduated, just working and graduated. Freshman in college, sophomore in college. That's the foreground. That's everything. That's all the people I know compacted in one spot. And I'm like, how is that relevant to what I'm talking about now? It really shows who's really how important everybody is to somebody, right? Like you're in this small box. You don't really understand, or you don't really see how insignificant or how small the little things that you do can impact somebody, And I love it, man. I don't know. I mean, because it's my first time ever just hanging out with multiple people. Cause I'm usually by myself, or sometimes I'll chill with Kurt. But that was during school. But yeah. But now since I'm out of school, I'm gonna go to college later. I'm just doing this YouTube stuff and music. Um, I feel like people get like a false narrative or a false perspective on you because what they see during the screen. Because God only knows. I could be. I say I'm a bad person all the time, but I could be a really deep dog shit ass person, like hurting people mentally, physically, robbing people, threatening people, all that. I could be a really scummy dude. You just would never know. Deuce, stop smelling that. That's an ant nest. Sit down. Come here. This thing got a sticker on this thing. Go. Go over there. Or sit down. Sit down. Stop smelling stuff. I know what I would do, but yeah. As you can see, these are my barrels. I'm about to take them out. I was going to take them out this weekend, but one of my friends suggested to take them out when they come down here because they're coming down for spring break. Spring break is going to be a lot. I feel like, I hate the word networking, but I feel like it's going to be a big spring break. Mainly because I'm going to be out more. Even though I don't like to be out, because I feel like every time I be out, I get paranoid. And the schizophrenia, it gets bad. Like, I start seeing shit, the paranoia, like my paranoia gets real bad. And I think somebody's going to kill me, you know? Oh, shit. Yeah, but like, when somebody was trying to take my life, I wasn't never paranoid. I felt invincible. You know, when I used to live in Waters, I had a lot of people threaten my life, point guns at me. You know, I felt most alive. You know, I was getting the most attention there because, I don't know, I was just, I guess, a so-called type of bad person. You know, I try to live a life that it wasn't for me. You know, my dad lived that life. My father, he lived that life. You know, he loved that life. He still reminisces about it, but you know, he's calm now, I guess. And I didn't really know him until, you know, 12, 13, for real, because it was just weird shit, you know. Mom was doing some flagrant shit, so he is, you know. That's why I don't want kids, because I see how it impacts people when they're young, you know. I'll know when I'm ready, and if I have one early, I'll try to give them a better place, because I know they couldn't be with me or whoever kept the child, or whatever, you know. And it's always, you know, it's always fuck the world, it's about you type of shit, you know. And I think going to this little hoop session wasn't really that deep, wasn't really that serious, but you know, the joking around really raised my spirits, because you know how I get. I be in my little depressive stuff, you know. But people try to overglaze it and be like, oh, over this, go like, oh, he's so depressed, going on type shit. You know, everybody like to simplify, you know, people's emotions. So, you know, I'm not gonna be no whiny baby about it. But if you're feeling some type of way, right, I always will try to acknowledge it or pull you to the side, you know, because I was never always the sensitive type. I was never aware of, you know, my surrounding or my emotions, mainly because I was just a dickhead. I'll be honest with you, that was a fucking shitty person. And am I trying to make up for it? Not really. I'm just trying to fix myself and, you know, try to be a better person. And to the best of my ability, you know. But you get self-conscious about the things you do once people like pry at it for like jokes. You know, it's like when they like try to come for your, you know, your intelligence or insult the things that you do. You know what I'm saying? It gets really tempting to the point where you're like, damn, why is there so much hatred in your heart? But I understand it, because I used to be the same way. I feel like it's rooted in jealousy sometimes, or it's just because, I don't know, they just want to do it. You know, jealousy, greed is the root of all evil, you know. But I said the most dangerous thing, to me personally, is a man's ego or a man's pride. And when it's diminished, it gets to a point, you know. But now it's not a conspiracy or a theory, but I feel like if you're, it's not even a county, if you're in one state, right, and you play a sport, right, you're connected to everybody that plays that sport and their family down the line. So now your friends, you think you picked and choose your friends? No, the place you live pick the friends you have, right? The environment you live in pick the friends you have. It just is up to circumstances, right? The people you know and the people you know before, they're connected by somebody that you know, but not connected by them, right? You might have a friend from a different school, and you might have a friend from that school. They might know each other based off something that you wasn't acknowledged from. And I feel like that's how we're connected. Once I say like we're connected by technology, obviously, by social media, it's easy to find somebody. So like being disattached from somebody, it's really hard. It's easy and it's hard to get over somebody, no matter how you connect with them, because you can find them in an instant. And I feel like it's detrimental to your mind. It's detrimental to your emotions in some way. Like what I'm saying right now could be glossed over to be like, what is he yapping about? What is he talking about? There's some people who haven't, fully, I wouldn't even say mature, but some people who haven't fully understand how I talk. I speak in code sometimes. There's some people that be like, okay, he's just yapping, or this is corny, this is that, that's that spiritual shit. It's an overgeneralization of everything that's being said by one person, right? You, the first one who watches it, you may know me, you may not. It's just, it's really a simple thing to understand what's really going on. I feel like once you start overcomplicating your connections, that's when a lot of things start to get hazy. A lot of things start to, you start to get a lot of questions thrown around. But yeah, today was just a great day because I haven't been outside so long, and it was good just to play around some trash. We was playing 21, but boy, when I tell you I was butt. You know what I'm saying? Being athletic, it correlates with a lot of sports, but sometimes if you haven't touched something in a long minute, boy, you're gonna be bad at it. And I wouldn't say I was super bad, but I was like more of a just, I don't know, bro. Street ball is not for me, boy. Anyways, it was great talking to y'all boys. I'm gonna, I don't know what I'm gonna do actually. I might go eat. I might go eat, and then I'm gonna go wash up because I stink. It smell like 3 cans of Bounce That Ass, and yeah, man. I'm really blessed, I'm just blessed all around. But anyways, I will see you when I see you. You have a blessed day, and just stay woke.